Thanks for joining me today. My name is Bo. We met. And I want to show you how to dig bottles, or at least how I dig bottles. We're not going to spend all day here like digging through these hills and rocks and stuff, but we're going to spend a little bit of time showing you the tools that I use, the different shovels and picks and things like that, and you might consider using as well when you want to go bottle hunting and look through dumps. I'm also going to show you how to find dumps, so we'll just kind of walk around a little bit first before we get down into the nitty-gritty and get our hands dirty. But I'll have gloves on, because I usually do wear gloves, you know. It doesn't look like it in the videos, especially when I'm in the water, because when I'm in the water, it's hard to work the camera controls when you have gloves on. And quite often I'll actually end up with my finger over the mic and stuff, and it muffles, and so I have to cut all that footage out. So that's why I usually have at least one glove off in the water. But I'm going to wear them here today, and I'm going to show you why. So let's get right to it. So let's just start with the tools one by one. We'll start with the big stuff first. A pick. Picks can be very handy when you're in an area like this that has a lot of rocks, a lot of roots, because you can use it to pry up the rocks and move them, and also with the roots too, and I'll show you how to do that. X has a great lever. You can just pop things out of the ground. I also like to have a shovel. This is my digging shovel, the one I use with a metal detector. Having a wider handle might be helpful, but you don't have to. I just saw a magnet. I never knew. Well, I guess I did know, but I have one of my little rare earth magnets on here for meteorites. When I go out west, like to Arizona, when you get a rock and you want to test it to see if it's a meteorite, you stick a magnet on it. So that's what this is for. And it's been on the shovel for I don't know how many years. But you need to have some type of shovel. I also like to have a hatchet, just in case you have a big root or a tree or something you want to cut down. It's nice to have a hatchet. I don't bring them with me all the time, but here I would definitely use this. There's a lot of roots in here. You need some type of hand trowel. There's two basic kinds you can look for. You can look for like a long handled one. This is just from like a garden center at Lowe's, really cheap. These things bend like crazy though, so you really got to be careful with anything from Lowe's or Home Depot. As long as you dig in gently, that's no problem. But if you want a super heavy duty one, you need to get something like this. This is actually a Viking tool. One of my friends makes these. He's from up in Canada. I can give you a link to this if you're interested in them. But this is like super heavy duty, and there's no way you're ever going to break this thing. And the other thing that's nice about it, it has these serrations right here, so you can kind of cut through some of the roots as well. So you definitely need a hand trowel. If not, like a cheap one from Lowe's, get a nice one that will last you forever. But don't leave it in the hole. So many people do that. What else? Let's see, a probe. This is a little probe. I think it might actually be like some type of leather tool, an awl of some kind. But these are good when you're bottle hunting because you can stick it back in the sidewalls of the hole to look for bottles that aren't broken yet. And the neat thing about glass is when you hit it with metal, even just slightly, it makes a particular screeching noise. And I'll try to show you that later. But a little probe, this is almost a must-have for bottle hunting if you want to be very careful and not break anything. This is another type of little probe thingy. This is just a knife that I found on the river. You can see it's zinc and the handle's falling apart, but this is a great little dagger for digging in the dirt, just very gently and carefully, pulling stuff away. So a little knife of some sort is a great tool to have. And having a little rake thingy like this is really, really good, because this is kind of a heavy duty one. I don't remember where I got this, but when you're raking through the leaves and the dirt, there's a much less tendency to break something than if you're using a shovel. And when those little tines go over glass, it goes, and you know that there's something there, so you can slow down. But some type of little rake is an invaluable tool to have, and I highly recommend you get, have at least these when you go bottle hunting. Yes, root saw. I don't know if you guys have ever used these types of saws, but you can get them pretty cheap at like Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart or whatever. But these things will cut through roots like crazy. They don't cost very much money. I can cut a tree down this big in just a minute or so with one of these saws. So this in conjunction with a hatchet, if I had to choose one, I'd choose this by far. Good to have a hatchet sometimes too, but yeah, definitely get a root saw. That's just as important as this. It really is if you're in the woods. And that's about it. Well, no, you need a bag. Always have a bag with you because you're going to have to carry your gear in. If you find some bottles, you have to carry it out. might want to bring some things to wrap up your best bottles in, because if you have a whole bag full of bottles, it could break on the way back. And metal detector is always good to have if you're looking for a spot. And once you find a spot, a metal detector is almost worthless, because there's so much iron in bottle dumps, whether it be fence wire and rusted up cans and license plates and pieces of tin from roofs. But a metal detector is invaluable, really, for finding a dump. So let's go ahead and look around here, this area right here. I want to show you what I'm looking at to see and know that there's a dump here. And then we'll get to it and look for some bottles. There's an area right down here that I found a few bottles at the last time I was here, which was when I did the turtle video, which was in this little stream right here. But let's look around for some bottles, see what we can find. So I have all my tools right here, and I'll try to keep track of them. It's best if you set them on your bag so that you don't lose them. The farmhouse is right up here, and now back in the old days, people would just throw the trash out the back door, or they would take it someplace not far from the house like this, where there's a lot of rocks or a sinkhole or a ravine or just anything like that, just the ground sometimes, and just pitch the stuff in a pile. Naturally, the cans would rot away, and just the bottles are left now. This is the spring house that we were at in the turtle video, and we just take a quick peek at it. See what's down there. Yeah, lots of water coming out. See some little fish swimming around. Don't see any dead raccoons this time, which is nice. There's several skulls in there last time we were here. That's the stream I found the turtle in. So what we're going to do is we're going to look around up here with a couple of the different tools that I showed you. So the very first thing I do is I clear a little spot that I can put my tools on so I don't lose them. And then I go ahead and I try to cut away some of the sticks and stuff that are going to get in my way. And I'll have to take my saw and cut this off down here. There's a lot of wire in these dumps too. This is that old fence wire I was telling you about, and it's kind of in my way. And if I was smart and clever, what I would have done is brought some wire snips too, or some fence pliers, so I could cut that type of wire and get it out of the way. So I got my gloves on. We're going to move some of these vines out of the way. This is probably poison ivy, or it could be just Virginia creeper. But we're going to go ahead and get rid of it. My father-in-law doesn't mind if I cut this stuff out of here, so I'm just going to cut it out of here. These saws are great, by the way. And this is the hole that we were in. There may be some broken bottles in here, or whole ones even. But see, like these little trees here, just take a saw, just like that. How fast that is, see? These are really good tools. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and get our little rake and we'll pull some of this stuff out of here. Yeah, see, here's some of the bottles that we found last summer when I was here at this looking for turtles. I'm going to set that there, a couple broken ones. See, here's another one. No, that's a some type of enamelware thingy. Looked like it had a bale on it right here. I had more than one bale. I had one here and here. So I'm not sure what that was for. But that's enamelware. Anyhow, that's probably turn of the century, something like that. A lot of broken bottles. Good reason to have these gloves on. What we'll do is we'll use this to put some of the broken bottles in. And let's go ahead and rake some of this fresh dirt. I've never been right here. Let's see what we can find. What do you think? Some more of these leaves out of here. See all the roots? This is going to take me a while to get down through this stuff here, because this stuff's been building up for, probably 100 years. I can feel big roots right here. See that root? So we'll have to cut that out of there. I'll go ahead and do a couple of them while you're watching, then I'm going to have to turn the camera off. But this would be a real pain to dig through if we couldn't cut it. We'll just pull it away from that rock, give it a couple zips, done deal. Do the same thing here. Done. Okay, that's good. What do you think? So I'm still working on this hole here, and unfortunately there's a lot of roots and I'm not seeing much in the way of bottles yet. But I wanted to show you how this pickaxe works. Well, I guess it's really a Maddox, and why you might want to bring one with you next time you come out. There's a bunch of roots right here, but if I take this thing and put the point down along the edge of the rock like that, you can kind of pry up Get a lot of leverage. Look at that. Alright. I don't see any stuff down in there at all. Yeah, see, there's some pottery down in there. There's a mason jar lid. These are good to save for what type of electrolysis, so we'll save that. And I'm going to try to move this rock. Probably have to turn the camera off. And I'll get these two rocks out of the way and we'll see what's underneath. Alright. I think this is loose enough now we can get it out. I've actually had to move all the tools over there so we didn't lose it. Let's go ahead and pull this rock out. I think it's loose. And some leather here. See that? It's probably a boot of some sort. Alright. There we go. Let's see what we can find. Oh. Oh yeah, there's stuff down there. I can see it. Cool. Alright, yeah, look at that. That's kind of cool looking. That's pretty, huh? Very, very fragile. I don't think that's too old. That's probably 1900s. More boot leather. A lot of boot leather. We'll go ahead and put all this stuff in a pile for now. And go through it later. Alright, let me find my saw, which I put over here. Here's my saw. I'm just amazed at how these things work. No one should leave home without one. Watch this. There's a nice big root here. No fuss. No muss. Alright, let's see what else we have. Alright, you ready? Put that back in the tool spot. Take out some of this stuff. Some tin. That's probably, I don't know, it kind of looks round, doesn't it? Could be from a roof, who knows. What's that? This might be a grave. Boom. Man, look at that thing. That thing, beautiful. Look at that. This is some type of animal bone. I'd say a pig maybe, I don't know. It's kind of short. But that's a beautiful bone right there. I'm definitely going to save that and try to preserve it. Isn't that cool? There's a pig farm right across the street too. Alright, lots of broken glass in here. There's a top tool bottle. And see, that's not a very old one. That's a screw top. So we know this is at least 100-ish. That's probably 40s, I would guess, 1940s. I could be wrong because, like I said, I'm not really a bottle man. I used to study when I was a kid, but kind of gave it up. Ah, you know what that is? Huh? Is that a percussion cap? This is the core to a battery. This is carbon. And these things, they say, are good to use for electrolysis instead of using steel or stainless steel. Okay, here's another one. Different size. I've never really used them, but I'm going to save them for electrolysis. And we'll give that a shot one day and see how it works. They say it's not near as messy. But see, with these gloves, you can just reach right down in there. Unfortunately, these are really broken up. Well, there's definitely no moving this rock. I think it is huge. There is some more bone and stuff in here, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot up under here. So I'm going to go ahead and backfill this area. We'll dig in that hole just a little bit. But I want to show you something here. When I was clearing an area for the tools, there's a lot of glass right there, which would make sense because if they had a dump here and they're dumping it from the house, this would be the first area right here that would get the trash, and it would build up in here and kind of tumble over these rocks down to where we are now. So let's go ahead and move over to, let's go ahead and move right there. I have a good feeling about that spot. I'm going to dig under the big rock first. So as I'm pulling stuff out of this hole, I'm seeing some bottles. Look at this. Little tiny baby one. This is probably some type of medicine bottle. I guess maybe an injectable. Probably. Looks like it has some type of rubber cork in it. And some big pieces of pottery. And some not so old bottles. I don't see any cork tops down here at all. Well, there's the first one. Put those over there. This is a cork top bottle, so we can date this to you know, World War II or before probably. It's got a few bubbles in it. It's kind of a nice one. Doesn't have any embossing. People like embossing. It's got some bubbles, so we're definitely going to keep that one. It's in good shape, huh? Alright, let's see what else we have. Are you ready? I'm so excited. With these gloves, you don't have to worry about the glass at all. I mean, I'm still a little bit careful, but we're just gonna, what's that? Let's talk to another one. Of course, a lot of the bottles are gonna be broken in here because it's in the middle of a rock pile, unfortunately. What's that? Oh, this must be, these are those little things that look like carbon. It must be part of a battery. I found a ton of these things. There's some glass there. Looks like it's broken though. There's a bottle there, I can feel it. I don't know if it's broken or not. It probably is, considering it's like jammed up in there, but let's see if we can pull it out of there. Oh yeah, no problem at all. Not broken, so we'll just go ahead and wipe it down. I always like to look for cracks first, because if they have cracks and you don't see them, you just rub your thumb on it. If you don't have cut-proof gloves, that's a good way to get cut. Okay, so I just clean it off, clean off the neck. I'm looking for the seam to see how far up it goes, because you can kind of date a bottle that way, roughly anyway. So yeah, it's just a little clear bottle. We'll save it. It's amazing how it didn't get broken all the way down in there. But of course, this could have been filled in with not just bottles, but also cans and paper and, you know, stew bones and everything. So you could have had a fluffy landing. And some more battery. We'll keep that. Now this is kind of interesting. It's a pretty bone. That's probably a vertebrae, I guess. But if you look at it, see how it's smooth right here? It's flat. That's been cut. So this was, you know, used as a stew or a roast or something, but that's what they cut it with a saw when they were butchering and preparing the beef or whatever it was to eat. So anytime you see cut marks like that, you know it's not a human burial. You see the back of my hand? I got another bottle. Oh yeah. First thing I'm looking at is I noticed it's a screw top, but to be honest with you, the first thing I saw was that it had water in it, which is amazing, because usually when they're buried with water in it like that, or water seeps in, or in the winter that water expands and it breaks the bottles. So whenever you see a bottle out there, if you're going to leave it out, you know, buried for, you know, kids to find 100 years from now, you've seen me do this in other videos. I always tip the bottle upside down so the water can drain out. See what it is. I look for cracks, no cracks. We're going to wipe it down. It's a Watkins company. Not sure what that is. I should know though. Let's reach down there and see what else we have. More treasures. Maybe they threw out a bag of gold coins. I think they threw out a bag of gold coins. The guy that used to live here was kind of a kook. And to be honest with you, I think there were houses here back in the early, mid to early. Ooh, that would have been a nice one. Look at that. Berkeley Springs. Yeah, that's West Virginia, which would have been, well, I guess it would have been West Virginia, turn of the century too. Berkeley Springs. I don't have any Berkeley Springs bottles. Nice to find a whole one of those. Oh, look. Oh, that would have been beautiful. But you know what? There could be a whole one in here. That's what keeps us going. Yeah, that would have been an awesome bottle. Definitely makes me want to keep digging. Another battery core here. Just throw it to the side. A lot of battery cores. Look, man, a lot of batteries. Here's stuff. Yeah, look at that. Guess that's tobacco. Some type of tobacco tin. Some more slate. Iron. Well, rust. Our hunt got cut a little bit short. I have to go home. I want to show you what we did though. This is the area that we were digging down by the rocks. I went ahead and backfilled it and put some leaves over it. Let me show you what we have over here. Nothing really amazing, but there's, you know, some kind of neat stuff. I'll keep a few of it. The rest of it I'll probably just put back in a hole over there, and you know, maybe some kid 100 years from now will find it. But here's what we have. We've got a few bottles here, a couple cork tops. This is probably the nicest of the bottles, I think, and I'm definitely going to keep the bones though, because I think that's just gorgeous. We'll take it down to the stream and wash it off before we go, just take one last peek at it. But yeah, that's about it for today. I wish we could have got into it a little bit more, but you know, if you guys want me to, I can come back at any time and get into some better areas right there when we have a few more hours. Well, you know I'm going to do it anyway, and you know, if you guys want to see it, I'll run the camera. Hey, I ought to get my wife to come over and run the camera. That would be a good idea. All right. Okay, just a couple more minutes. As I was gathering myself up to leave, I thought I'd just test another spot up here. See if there's anything there, and I want to show you how it turned out. That's where I was digging when I first got here. But look at this. When I started clearing away the leaves, I hit this bottle right here. What do you think? I think it's beautiful, isn't it? Probably a big old mason jar. What do you think? Right. Yeah, I'm going to have to set the camera down, unfortunately. And we'll dig that thing out of there, see what it is. Alrighty, you ready? Get some of this stuff out of the way so I don't break it. What I'm doing is putting my fingers down by the bottle so that when I pry up, I'm actually just using my fingers and not pushing on the glass, because it doesn't take much to break that glass. Maybe it's full of gold coins. An old mason jar full of gold coins. What do you think? Man, that's a beauty. I can't believe it's that complete. Here we go. It's loose. I think it's a mason jar. What do you think? No, I don't know what that is. I think it's broken. Oh man, look at that. It may not even be broken. Can you read it? Let's see what it says. I'm going to wipe it on my pants here. Probably a big no-no. Alright, let me stand up here. Jeez. I'm an idiot. I really am, you know. Okay, here's what we have. It's Buffalo Lithia Water. Trademark. It's got this a Greek motif. That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. Man, I love that thing. Whoa. And I was on the way out. And I figured I'd just take one more spot. We'll come back here if you guys want to. Like I said, I'm going to come back here for sure. And if you want, I'll go ahead and run the camera. I love it. Bye-bye for reals. So I went ahead and popped down here to the stream to clean this bottle off a little bit, because I want you guys to be able to see it before it goes away. It's kind of hard to read, but it says Buffalo Lithia Water, Natura's Matera Medica, which I guess is nature's medicine, made in trademark. Okay. That's a pretty neat little bottle, though. I like that. And I went ahead and cleaned off the bone for you. I love that bone. I mean, it's just a beautiful color, isn't it? See a couple hack marks. Looks like maybe where they butchered it right there. Well, that's a good way to end it, I guess. Or is this better?